What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and to kick off 2015, I'm going to be doing my first LEGO Star Wars 2015 set review on the new Geonosis troopers. And the set number for this one is 75089. The recommended ages are 6 through 12, and it has a piece count of 105, while the price point is $12.99. And I mentioned it in my analysis video that while I am so glad the LEGO group at least tried to make this set, it's just the figures are pretty far from being accurate, and unfortunately, this set didn't come out in the year 2010. If this set came out in 2010, like around the, when the episode Landing at Point Rain aired in the Clone Wars Season 2, I think people, and including me, would have been all over this set. We would have been freaking jumping through roofs trying to get the set. And unfortunately, though, this set is just way too late, and that's what is really awful about this. It's like like I said in the beginning of my analysis video, I really feel like the LEGO group, before Star Wars Episode 7 comes out and before all the spin-off movies start happening, they just like wanted to go back and make sets that they missed out on. That's really what this lineup seems like for LEGO Star Wars, the first lineup for 2015, and that's okay. It's just, man, this came way too late. But yeah. Without further ado, though, let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Geonosis Airborne Trooper, and when this style of armor, this sort of camouflage was introduced, it was in Season 2 of the Clone Wars, and in the second Battle of Geonosis, you had the standard Phase 1 clones with the Geonosis camo, you had ARF Troopers, you had the Flamethrower Troopers, and you had the Sonic Troopers, like Commander Jet, for example. And, but there was no such thing as Phase 2 troopers yet, and there was certainly no such thing as airborne troopers. So right off the bat, there's no reason for these two molds, these two helmet molds, to be present in this set. Instead, they should have just taken the Phase 1 clone trooper helmet mold that they already have, and they could have just taken the fin off and incorporated those headphones into it, and you would have easily had a great looking, they were never really definitively called Sonic Troopers. That's what I've always called them, but I guess we can also call them Honeycomb Troopers. That's what I used to call them as a kid. But I mean, it kind of sucks, because basically that's what these minifigures are. You have the exact same minifigures from the Utapau Troopers set, but just, in the Geonosis style. And yeah, there's no accuracy here at all. But another thing is that you do not have the yellow markings. Almost all of the clone troopers that were stationed on Geonosis during the second battle of Geonosis, they at least almost all of them had yellow markings on their armor. And unfortunately, there's no accuracy with these other than the color and other than the camouflage that's on these minifigures. Now, let me just say another thing. This printing on this minifigure is phenomenal. The printing on this guy, this Phase 2 clone trooper, it's phenomenal. I love how the LEGO group did the camouflage. They really did nail the Geonosis camouflage that was used during this story arc in the Clone Wars, and it looks awesome. I absolutely love it. The printing is not the problem here. The LEGO group, the Airborne Trooper helmet printing was always great, especially in the 212 Troopers set. And I mean, the Airborne torso design is always great. The leg printing is great, and so is the back printing and all the printing that they incorporated onto it here. But I mean, it's just the only thing is the fact that you don't actually have any accuracy with these minifigures, aside from the camo and aside from the color, and that's what sucks. But I mean, they are still really high quality and really awesome looking minifigures if you can get past the accuracy issues. But if we go ahead and remove the super awesome mold that is the Airborne Trooper helmet, we've got something new here. We've got a new face for live action clone troopers, and for the longest time we've had these faces, which have been fine, yes, but I mean, clone troopers don't always have that facial expression, so it's really nice that we get a more standard facial expression for our live action clone troopers, before The Force Awakens comes out and they really don't have any interest in making clone troopers anymore. So it's really nice that we did get this head in this set. Now we have, two different facial expressions for live action clone troopers. I'm really glad the LEGO group incorporated this head into this set. It looks awesome, and these minifigures are awesome, don't get me wrong. It's just they are non-existent in Star Wars canon. That's the only thing. Their armor is non-existent in Star Wars canon. That's pretty much the only thing I'm getting at here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get a look at the Phase 2 clone troopers so we can get a look at the actual walker included with this set. I just realized I wasn't really even addressing it at all, but we do get the new blasters that were introduced at the start of 2014 in this set. We get one for each minifigure. If you don't know how these work, you push down on this lever and they fire studs, and it is a great playability feature, and I'm so glad the LEGO group introduced it last year. It works, but I mean, it's obviously, you guys heard my opinion if you watched those reviews last year. If you want to go back, you can definitely hear my opinion on these new blasters, but this minifigure has the exact same printing, basically, just on a different helmet mold and with a different torso design. The legs are pretty much exactly the same, and so So basically, the torso has a standard clone template for the front and back, but with the Geonosis camouflage, which looks amazing. And you can see we also have, we've got the helmet here, which I mean, I've always loved this helmet mold, and I've always loved how the LEGO Group printed the visor so perfectly and how great it looks. And the camouflage printed on top of that is just a huge added bonus. And I absolutely love, once again, it's the printing is really high up there with these minifigures. It's just not accurate printing. That's the only thing. And if we go ahead and remove the awesome Phase 2 helmet, you can see we've got the standard clone trooper head that I showed you just so earlier that we've had for the longest time, which is why I'm so glad that we did get an alternative facial expression for our clones with these new airborne troopers. So really awesome stuff here. And I mean, once again, if they just had the yellow markings, if they didn't use this helmet, you would have had a really solid battle pack. I mean, to be honest, I would have been happy if they just used Phase 1 helmets, didn't even make, you know, like the Commander Jet helmet design. If they just used Phase 1 helmets and ARF Trooper helmets, this would have been perfect. And if they, you know, incorporated the yellow printing, but unfortunately there is nothing of the sort, and this armor did not exist during the second battle of Geonosis yet, so it's unfortunate, but there's no denying that these minifigures are some of the highest quality clone troopers we've seen in a very long time, and I'm so glad the LEGO Group has really nailed clone troopers. You know, it's great. So that's pretty much my opinion on the Geonosis troopers. Let me know what you guys think, and if I slipped up with accuracy anywhere, which I don't believe I did. Definitely let me know in the comments if I provided any misinformation. I know you guys are great at that. But yes, let's go ahead and get a look at the walker included with this set. Okay, so now that you've heard my opinions on the Geonosis troopers, we're gonna go ahead and move them aside. Along with the box, we can get a better look at the walker included with this set. Now, the walker in this set does not have the problems. The Geonosis troopers come with the problems, and that's the unfortunate part about this set. But the LEGO Group, when they make walkers for their clone battle packs, they never really stick to one walker. Like, I mean, yes, the majority of them do look like ATRTs in some ways, but I mean, you know, there are no ATRTs that had massive guns like this and things like that. But one thing I do want to point out, one small little detail, is that this leg design, aside from this piece here on both legs, is actually the exact same design that they used for the original Clone Walker Battle Pack back in 2009, and that's like, that goes pretty far back for me. So it's, the nostalgia is definitely real, man. But yes, you can see we have 2 available seats for our minifigures, and they're just, you know, a couple of 2x2 available spaces for the minifigures. And so you take the blasters off of them, and as pictured on the box, we go ahead and seat the airborne trooper in the front seat, and he's basically the main driver for this walker. And then we can go ahead and take a Phase 2 clone trooper, pull his blaster off, and then he sits down in the back. And what's really awesome about this is if you don't want to give your minifigures the new blasters, if you don't want them holding their guns while you know, riding this thing, you can go ahead and attach them to the 2 available clips on both sides of the walker. So not only does it add for some more firepower that doesn't involve your minifigures having to hold the guns, but it's just really nice because I am, like I always mention in my reviews, I hate having accessories lying around all over the place, extra accessories, because that's how you lose them, and that's not a good thing. So having the clips on this thing definitely really, you know, eliminates that problem. So you don't have, you know, you don't have these guns lying around, which is really awesome, and I really appreciate LEGO Group doing that for this set. And so the main playability feature, big antenna by the way, so the main playability feature for this set is basically a massive spring-loaded shooter. This thing's like a freaking spring-loaded shooter minigun. Now, personally, I've never seen this design. I only follow the LEGO Star Wars and LEGO Superheroes themes, so I'm not sure if this was like in Chima or Ninjago or Agents. I don't know if this was in another theme, but definitely let me know down in the comments if you've seen this before. But personally, I have not, and it's freaking awesome. I mean, for playability, I'm really surprised the LEGO Group actually made an entire mold for this kind of thing. And so basically, what you've got going on here is you have this knob back here, and you just turn this thing, and it automatically fires all 6 of these studs. And let me tell you, I'll get into the extra pieces later, but you get a lot of extra studs with this thing, because you're definitely going to lose a lot of these doing this. But yeah, so you basically just turn this knob, and you can see basically the way this works, by the way, is I'll try to pull off a stud here to give you a good look at this. And so basically what happens is you have this little tiny notch here, you can kind of see that right there, and that basically pushes each and every one of the studs out of the actual mold, and that basically is what is responsible for firing them when you turn the knob. And so basically you turn the knob, and it works really well. Now I'll try to aim. Yeah, see, it's actually a really awesome feature if you can aim well, which is something I am completely incapable of doing, as you can see. But yeah, one of those studs just flew off the table. So that is a given though, and I did not actually fire that one stud. I guess we can go ahead and do that too, as I miss again. But yeah, so you're gonna lose studs using this thing. While I gotta say, playability wise, this thing is phenomenal. Like, I mean, you could get a lot of freaking play out of just just this feature alone, not even using the actual blasters that the clones come with, which I think is really great. And by the way, this does absolutely nothing. That's just there for design. That little Technic pin you see there. It's not really a Technic pin, but you know, the Technic, I guess, connector. So I'm going to go ahead and pull from the extra studs right now just to refill this thing to avoid my OCD being tampered with. But yeah, so the main flaps can be folded out if you care. That's a thing. And then also the legs are fully articulated in 3 different spots, so they can go about that high up, and then they can fold about, this is basically the stopping points for the actual like knee joints. And then the feet can also be bent, and not that far. They only go actually that far, as you can see, before they bust off, which is always the classic design that I remember for the Clone Walker battle packs. And man, this set is awesome. It really is. I love the Walker. I really do. Yes, it's not accurate. Yes, it doesn't exist in any Star Wars canon, but neither do the clones, unfortunately, and it's just overall a completely inaccurate set. But, I mean, you cannot deny that what the LEGO Group really nailed with this set was the printing on the minifigures, freaking phenomenal, and then the actual playability with this new Walker. It's all there, and it's a really... honestly, if you ask me, it's a fully functional set, and for that reason, I definitely recommend it, and the $12 that, you know, it's priced at. So I think that about wraps up this portion of the review, though. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the box, instruction manual, extra pieces, and we'll conclude my first review of 2015. We all know the size of battle pack boxes by now, but you can see that we've got our inaccurate Geonosis clone troopers running on Geonosis in a pretty nice little graphic we've got going on there, which is pretty cool. We've got the new Rebel Stormtrooper up in the corner, of course, and the Disney logo down in the opposite corner. And then you can see on the top of the box, we have the Airborne Trooper sporting the actual size reference. And then on the back of the box, we have all the features that I just went over in this set, along with a really nice render of the 4 Geonosis troopers. And man, that render looks so awesome. But yeah, you can see we also have a couple action shots included there on the side as well, so along with that, advertised with lego.com/Star Wars. So really awesome box, and definitely serves its purpose. So with the instruction manual for the Geonosis Trooper set here, we've got a 28-page build, and unfortunately there is nothing rewarding at the end of it, other than just a few photos of the playability features that, you know, are included with it. And that's kind of sucks, because the really awesome advertisement and artwork at the end of it, like, you know, the minifigure checklist and all that's not unfortunately included with this instruction manual, but whatever. So not really much to say other than that, and it's kind of small, so there's that as well, I guess. As with all sets that include the new blasters that were introduced at the start of 2014, you get a ton of extra studs, not only for easy reloading, but also because you're gonna lose a ton of these the more you fire the new blasters. And so you get, in this set, a total of 11 of the new studs. I think the correct number might be 12, and if that's the case, I don't know what happened. But you can see we do get an extra cheese slope as well, yellow Technic axle for the Walker. You can see we've also got an extra standard gray stud, an extra black connector, and the actual piece that is you know, used in the actual new blasters that has its little devious face, as always, that it has always had. And yeah, man, so I think that's pretty much it for the extra pieces and this set in its entirety. And we're gonna go ahead and finish off my first review of 2015. Okay, so you need to redesign this helmet, remove the fin, and add these headphones to the sides. So I guess I can't use these? No, those helmets didn't exist yet. Okay, gotcha. So these are what I came up with. Get out. Okay guys, so that about wraps up my first 2015 set review, and I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to let me know by dropping this video a like below and or your opinion down in the comments, because both of which definitely mean a lot and definitely go a long way, man, especially now that we've gotten this set so many years later. It's like, where was this? Back in like 2010, but I already went over all that and what I think about the set. What do you think? Once again, drop your opinion down in the comments, but other than that, you can also follow me on the Twitter, the Bookface, the Instagrams. All of it is linked down in the description below, and there I post all kinds of behind-the-scenes photos and updates and stuff for upcoming minifigures I'm working on and sets I'm about to review, and there's going to be a lot of freaking reviews coming your way, let me tell you. But yeah, so I think that's about it though for my first review in 2015, my first video in 2015, and here's to an awesome year that will hopefully be much better than 2015, because wow, that sucked. But I think that's it, guys, and I'll catch you later. All right, bye. What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF. I don't know the price of this set. Start off with the Phase 2 Airborne Trooper. That's not a thing. Review on the new Geonosis. Where am I pointing? Completely off frame. Get out.